Live at Onigashima! I'm Anthony.
And I'm Jimmy, and we got chapter 1112. And we're finally back after almost a month-long break, so I'm down to just get right into the chapter. Skip past this Yamato.
Skip past the Yamato, Kinemon stuff. I want to say at least the chapter name, Heart Aspect. Oda is officially an astrology girly because they had a whole little tidbit here about how aspect in astrology means something about the planets and the birth chart and horoscopes and shit. Probably just referencing the Gorosei, but let's get right into it. So,
yeah, exactly.
So
one thing I really liked about this chapter is just getting to see all the things we've been kind of missing throughout all these big events. Like, just to skip ahead a little bit, the whole Sissy and Kaku interaction, I really like seeing them because I've been wondering what happened to them. And it kind of makes sense that, oh yeah, they're getting left behind because how else are they gonna like open and keep everything safe while everyone else tries to escape?
Right.
But I also think about that, I'm like, why can't Robin just make a clone to do that and then nobody has to get left behind?
I don't know if she can do that necessarily from like that far away is the thing, because I think she has to be kind of like, she has like an area of effect, so...
I guess that's fair, there's some type of range.
Yeah. But one thing I did think, I was like, well... what if Vegapunk just like had a robot that could do this? Like, isn't this like with all this technology, you know, like you would think, right? Like, why didn't Pythagoras stay alive? I guess he kind of is. Well, Pythagoras died, but Edison could go. Yeah. So I guess all the robots are dying, but Stussy's a clone. I guess that like sort of counts. But
damn, clone lives ain't real. You're just like a Germa.
But yeah, I mean, hey, listen, but at least Stussy's getting like, I don't think Stussy's getting out of here alive after this, to be honest.
I don't think so either. Do you think Kaku's getting out of here alive?
Yes.
I think he has a chance, honestly.
I think, honestly, what would be really crazy is if he stays in the bubble the whole time and, like, the Leloucia, like, you know, ancient weapon bomb goes off on the island, like, after everybody gets off, whatever, and he's, like, the only one that doesn't die because of the bubble. Like, that would be nuts if, like, the bubble...
That's literally, like, one of the strongest things in the universe then that Vegapunk created. Stupid ass bubble.
I mean, literally. I mean, it's trapping awakened Zoans and Seraphim and stuff, you know. So like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess that's true. They got to utilize this more. They need to grab some of those guns and take them off the island. If they can get off the island, they're being blocked by vice admirals right now.
Blocked is a very, you know, yeah. Frankie came in and just strong righted that guy. I love that.
Yeah, I love finally seeing Frankie do something. Like we said it before, we really want Frankie to have something in this arc. This is supposed to be the technology arc, and while he didn't get that much with that, at least he's getting like a cool fight scene, just taking out vice admirals, which are pretty high in the Marines.
I say so. I mean, this is pretty definitively putting him at like at least like mid-high vice admiral level. I think he's above that. Like, I don't know what other vice admirals even like besides Garp. Obviously, like he's like a non-factor.
Garp's now a liar.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's not
like the only ones that I guess I would put like higher are like maybe Smoker, but probably not. And like what's his name? Doflamingo's guy. Virgo, yeah.
I think Frankie could beat Virgo.
Yeah, I think Frankie could beat
I mean,
Virgo.
He's a corpse right now, so I definitely think he could beat him. But even before that...
Doesn't count, yeah.
But one of the other things I like seeing here was Bonnie turning this guy into a kid and the other dude being like, damn, that's brutal, bro, you're kicking a kid.
I like Bonnie doing that because this tells me, like, I like seeing her fight with our crew because I'm like, damn, you know what? If she can, like, one-shot... Because is that guy a Vice Admiral or is that just, like, a normal dude?
I honestly don't know. I think he's just a normal dude.
Whatever. I mean, he looks like more like a normal... If anything, he's a captain because the normal Marines look like, you know, Joe Schmoes or whatever. So, at least...
Yeah, and this guy got a mustache. So
yeah, he's got a mustache and, like, the butt chin. So, one thing I do want to say about Frankie is that I think this chapter actually gave him kind of a through line to do something because... they're talking about how they have to like get off the island and Edison's like, we're never gonna be able to, blah blah blah. I think this is gonna be a good chance for Frankie to come in and be like, all right, double coup de burst or something, and like
maybe he finds a way to implement some new energy source or something.
Yeah, like the green blood or something.
Technology.
Yeah,
it'd be cool to see him and like Lilith working together to get them off the island. Also,
I think so. It'll be interesting to see like what Edison does here, because I don't know where the hell he's going. Maybe he's going to get some kind of like fuel source or something, but you know, he's obviously inspired by the Straw Hat crew. I think this will be a good opportunity for Franky. Like, I could see Franky getting some stuff here, more than just fighting, and I think it's important for him too. But going to the other Straw Hats real quick, because we see a lot of them this chapter. You know, Usopp had his little moment of like explaining everything. He's being Captain Usopp, and then
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I like that he's taking some charge here. Like, if it's not the brunt of the fighting, where he's not scared shitless, like he can still be smart and he can still be helpful. And I like seeing him step up at here
for sure. Yeah, I think he's doing that slowly but surely. But then, like, obviously, like towards the end, we see these Gorosei like pull up on them. So like after Edison leaves, so who do we have here on the Sunny? Obviously we have Chopper, Nami, and Usopp versus like Saturn here, which is like total mismatch. I don't know how the fuck that's gonna work.
We have Brook also. Don't worry, they got the skeleton.
Oh, and Brook. Sorry.
Honestly, the more of the mismatch is Bonnie and Franky versus an entire Gorosei also.
Dude,
and Atlas, I guess. But
yeah, that's a pretty bad one. Like, I think this is gonna be a good opportunity here for like Sanji to come and save Nami, right? Sanji's gonna come and start kicking Saturn and shit, and then Zoro's gonna come and help with Franky and them.
Well, Zoro's with Jinbei, so it would be both of them coming.
It'd probably be both of them, yeah. So I think that would be fine, because like I think I had said this before, but my thing with Zoro and like Nozjuro is that I would love for them to like meet each other here, and then Zoro like maybe not lose, but like realize that he's like not strong enough, and maybe we could see that this guy has like the black blade like Hitetsu, and maybe Zoro notices that, and like this is what motivates Zoro.
I mean, it kind of looks here like he does have a black blade if you look at the image.
It does.
It could just be the shadowing because he's in silhouette here, but I wonder if he just also has a black blade.
Yeah, he looks so much cooler than Saturn is just like climbing up like a little crab. That's what.
But yeah, the other thing I like seeing here was just the Gorosei even kind of working together. We saw the worm try to like suck in Luffy, and then when that didn't work, we had the boar charging at them.
Yeah.
So they may not be in like perfect unison, but it shows that they're not complete strangers to each other too. And they have, I mean, assumingly we think they've been living 800 years since the Void Century.
Well, another thing is that I think they're like talking to each other like in their heads, right? Like, don't they have this like omnipresent, like they're always talking to each other, they can hear each other's thoughts.
I don't necessarily know if they're doing it mid-battle, but I don't see why they wouldn't be. It'd be very helpful to be able to relay like your actions without the enemy knowing.
I mean, Saturn was talking to them mid-battle, and they were like, you know, up in the whatever in the Holy Land, and so, you know, I do like seeing like different moves from them too, and seeing like what their power level is, because like clearly like that suction thing strong. I love Luffy throwing the building at him. I love the 3D pop of the worm. I think it's funny. And then we also see like Luffy peters out pretty quick, so we're still seeing a lot of stamina issues from Luffy. He eats the shark meat or whatever. Dory and Brogy pull sharks out of their pockets and be like, here's some rations.
I love that the Elbaf rations are just sharks. But they also remark here how Luffy's body is not normal. Like, they're like, yo, you just changed from being like an old man to fully awakened again.
Yeah.
And granted, you can't go into Gear 5 quite that fast.
Right.
But
yeah, he went to Gear 3rd. And I want to say something about this Gear 3rd feat, because people have been saying that, so he does Red Rock on Mercury, on Warcury, right? And it does nothing. Like, it hurts Luffy is what happens. And if you look back to the fight with Kaido, when like he first, you know, they first get on the rooftop and he Red Rocks Kaido, you know, Kaido didn't go down obviously, but this didn't happen. So like that's I want to get into a little bit of scaling here, because I think
I wonder if it's not necessarily, because with Kaido I feel like he's more raw durability, while with these Gorosei they have just like tricks. Like we see here, Luffy's hand is burning, so he definitely has some type of like heating skin, like some type of
no, because it's Red Rock, because Red Rock sets his arm on fire, so his arm is already on fire. I don't think the boar set his arm on fire. I think Luffy had his arm on fire, and now it's just like on fire, and it's also like the wiggly arm thing, like that's just him being like, I'm hurt, like a cartoon, you know. Like, so I mean, and they say like, oh, how hard is this guy's skin? So
I wonder if he's just not, because it doesn't look like he's using Conqueror's Haki here either, like the advanced Conqueror's Haki. So I wonder if maybe he realized like, oh, this guy is like Kaido. I can't just bust through his skin.
One other thing
But
is
I
that
wonder if
maybe
he
that
still has
he
the
maybe he
stamina for
can't,
that.
right, because of the stamina thing. Like I think that maybe Luffy needs to eat like a lot more to get back into this state. So I mean, this is kind of like a red flag for Luffy supporters, myself included, because if Luffy isn't able to hold Gear 5 for as long as like he needs to, then like, you know, obviously these level
Anyone who could
attacks are
survive these
not
hits then are just
right.
gonna
Like these
outlast
level of
them.
attacks, like if Red Rock is doing nothing to a Gorosei, then like he has to take the Gorosei out like really quick in Gear 5, and that's all he can do. So
Which
definitely
we
puts
saw
the
is
Gorosei
very hard because of their regeneration abilities. They're basically invincible.
right, and he needs
So-
that time to like figure it out. Like Luffy's always needed time to kind of figure out battles. Like like take the Katakuri thing for instance. You know, that was a 10-hour battle, and just for Luffy to figure out Future Sight. And granted, I'm sure like it'll be exponentially so where he can like figure out these things because he's getting more and more battle smart. But still, like we can't say that Luffy's top 1 until we can definitively see him like
I mean, he needs to
overcome
be swapping
a
these
lot of
guys like relentlessly if we
Right.
want him to be top 1.
right.
So he still has a way to go, which I like because I mean, this shouldn't be endgame Luffy. There should be bigger, badder enemies. One of the things that I also like about this chapter was kind of the pacing of it. I thought this whole 10-minute thing with Vegapunk was going to take way longer than it did. I thought it was going to be like here's another 20 chapters while we spend 10 minutes in world. But they actually are going very quickly. And we can see here at the end when, what is this, Jupiter is pulling up to the snail.
Not
It's
Jupiter,
already
it's
saying
Mars.
one.
Mars.
Mars, yeah. I got them all confused. But yeah. So he's already pulling up to the snail and is ready to kill it. But I think this is still a trick from Vegapunk.
Me too.
I think there's still a fail safe somewhere.
I feel
Maybe
like it has to
killing
be.
the snail. Yeah, like I just don't think Vegapunk is that stupid to be like, oh, we filmed it here. Let's hide the snail right above it. And who knows? Maybe it's like some type of oversight from him because he didn't see himself betraying himself with York.
Maybe, but I think it's a good opportunity to be like, haha, I knew York was like this the whole time, or like, I got you, or whatever it is, you know. Like I think that this is very indicative to me of like if the Lucia bomb goes off here, like something happens where we just like don't get anything from Vegapunk, that'd just be odd to me. You know, like what's the point of all this and like the extending the time until we tell somebody, unless like Vegapunk has a reason. So like why are we waiting 10 minutes instead of Vegapunk, like him pouring the coffee and all this bullshit, if he's not gonna just like spit the info?
One thing I've wondered and I've heard floated around also is maybe he has the time limit, not necessarily to actually get the message out in that time, but to kind of do this and draw people towards it. And so whoever's trying to stop the message kind of gets trapped here in some way.
Right, yeah, that's another thing. We haven't really even seen anybody go into Punk Records yet. This is the first time. Like maybe the snail is a bomb and this like Mars dies right here trying to stop it. Like that could totally
Which
be the
would
case.
be really bad for them because we saw in this chapter they definitely don't want to lose Punk Records.
Right.
York was like, you can't just blow this shit up or we're gonna lose everything.
Right.
And he agreed. Like he was like, yeah, I guess you're right. We can't do that. So
Yeah.
this is obviously very important to them.
Just as a side note, I really like the idea of York and like Mars as the big bird form, just like walking around in this stratum, like trying to find the room. She's like, oh, I think it's up here, and he's just like casually walking, and he's like, oh, this is it. Blah, and like fires
He's like casually walking. He's kind of flying everywhere, destroying things. Not super casual.
Not super casual.
But yeah,
I don't know. It's just funny. Like it's just like a funny visual to me. But you know, he gets into the room, and we'll see what happens from there. York's a snake. I don't know if she's gonna get off this island alive or not. We'll see.
I'm not
feel
sure.
like
One last thing I wanted to say
are gonna die.
is, and I know I said this for the last review, but it felt like we still weren't in that much danger with all these Gorosei here, and I think this chapter kind of changed that.
Yeah.
I feel like you can feel the gravity of the situation more and how dire it actually is.
For
Because
sure.
before, yeah, the Gorosei were running around, but it felt like we could still stop them. Now that we're being split off, though, like it feels much worse rather than, hey, they're all in front of Luffy and Luffy can do something.
Right. Well, now Luffy can't even do something. It seems like he's less and less like
exactly, and that's what makes it even scarier. So I'm really curious to see what happens next chapter.
Yeah, it's a big escape mission this chapter. I like seeing the Gorosei flex. They all did something pretty much this chapter, except for Saturn, I guess. But Saturn is pulling up.
He had his moments already.
Yeah, he had a lot of moments. It's true. Yeah, so we're really getting to see the Gorosei flex. So I don't know, we'll see what happens next chapter. I don't really have like a lot of predictions for next chapter. I think it'll be just a continuation. I'm just kind of
curious where it's gonna go.
It seems like we're getting towards the end of this though. Like I don't know if there's gonna be any more big battles. To me it's gonna be more like Sabaody, where like they're not all gonna be sent away, but there's gonna be some kind of like pulling of the plug, like disconnect of this. Like the Straw Hats are gonna get out of there, but there's gonna be consequences for everybody else that has to stay on the island. Like Stutzy's gonna die, a lot of the Vegapunks are gonna go down, Punk Rex is gonna blow up. I don't know about Dory and Brogy, what's gonna happen with them. A lot of the giant pirates are going down, we saw here, so it's like, and they're willing to die for it. Like that's kind of like their whole shtick, so it'd be interesting to see. I had said this before, but I want Usopp to kind of like see that from the Giants and that kind of transition to Elbaf. So that's kind of what my take on it is. But we'll see.
And even if I think that could happen, it'd still be in a few chapters from now. But I'm excited. Best thing about this chapter, though, right after this month-long break, is no break next week.
Well, here, wait. Good. Well, I got news actually. I got some.
No way. Is there actually a break? Because it doesn't say it on here.
It doesn't, but it's a Shonen Jump break next week. I think it said it.
Guys, I got fooled.
Yeah, it's.
Oh my god!
it said it on that graphic that happened like a month ago, and Oda went on break. He came out with that, and yeah, I think there's a Shonen Jump break next week, so might not have a chapter next week. We'll see.
That's a little bit heartbreaking, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
And as always,
fight us in the comments.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
Peace. Wait, is there really Shonen Jump?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
One Piece schedule.
Did I break your heart in the middle of that video?
Yeah, a little bit. I scrolled to the bottom and saw no break, and it's like, oh, amazing. Oh, no, it's the week after.
Oh, okay. Damn, okay. So we do get one next week, and then the week after it's Shonen break.
Okay.